Does anyone have any idea what episode number this is?
19.
Perfect.
19 it is.
Welcome to episode 19 of How to Ski It.
And ski season is underway.
It is.
Man, for all the positive of how much snow has flown, I mean, I live above Boulder and Sugarloaf and got almost 2 feet, just a little bit less than 2 feet, which is down to like 6 inches of ice now.
Yeah.
But the crowds
Man.
are what made the news. Like the snow made the news at first, but then the crowds and the videos of tens of thousands of people skiing with one run open.
Did you end up going? I know you
No.
talked about it. Okay.
No, not after seeing. There was a video that circulated the internet. I think it was called the Jerrysburg Address, and it was the one run at Eldora. And I hate to pick on Eldora. I don't know what they're supposed to do about it. They open a week early, but you know, there's not that much base snow in Colorado yet, so it's limited to what you can open, especially in high alpine terrain. And it was probably a person every like 5 square meters.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
And to Eldora's credit, they posted and said, hey, if you're coming up, don't expect, like it's powder, but don't expect powder runs to be open. We have like effectively 1.5 runs open.
Yeah.
Which is accurate.
And then my plan, like I think usually early season is Copper Mountain. And somebody posted a photo of the main lift there. What is that? The American Eagle?
Yeah.
And it was the worst lines I've ever seen on the American
It's
Eagle.
like back to the Whistler videos from last year.
Yeah, the line made it up to where the half pipe usually goes, which is insane.
It was crazy.
So tough start, but it's underway. And the forecast, we're mid-November right now, and then the forecast is some dry days, but a better start than usual. Skiers are open earlier than usual.
Yeah.
And so a good start.
The snow accumulation is interesting to me because usually I feel like, you know, being around like Golden or Arvada, I see the most of the snow in the Front Range, but it must not have been that way because I was reading that DIA has 50% of their season's snow from that one storm.
Whoa.
They got 20 inches.
That's nuts.
Wow.
South Colorado, New Mexico got like upwards of 60.
Yeah, 55 inches. I think I saw somewhere down in southern Colorado, and Taos got 25 inches. Chiricahua Valley got like 45 inches.
Nuts.
So real snow, but it's not quite time yet. Eldora only has like top to bottom. Like they don't have midway lifts and stuff like that. But my rule for Copper Mountain, Vail, everywhere is when top to bottom skiing is open. The exception to that's probably A Basin, that a lot of times when the top isn't open, there's still really good skiing. But Copper Mountain, they just have that bottom half of the mountain open and then just one run.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, it's so funny because you sent us a photo that you had found and acted like you were there. But I was like, no, I saw this exact photo on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then I went and found the one on Reddit. It was a different photo from a different day. So that line that you sent us happened multiple times.
Yeah. And then I egged it on because you guys were like, are you there? And so then I went and grabbed a photo from a few years ago and I was like, yeah, the Super B and A are open. Like it's like, you know, that would make the news. And so I sent a photo from a couple years ago of Oh No and some other lift sign that is usually later in the season to open up. And Ryan sent back a screenshot of like the date the photo was taken.
That was quick detective work.
But what so good, and what phone it was taken on. Is it Apple 12?
The 12 Max. You just go into the info and like the metadata is all inside the info of every photo.
And what I thought was made you look. So I'm going to pick on Marcus. He doesn't even have his ski pass yet.
I don't have it yet.
What are the chances Marcus isn't going to ski this year?
0% chance I'm not skiing this year. I'd say there's a possibility that I'll miss out on buying an Icon pass and have to buy specific
$1,000
place.
day passes.
Yeah. That's a possibility, but that's not the plan.
Ryan?
I was going to buy the base pass, but then I realized that won't get you on Aspen, and we're planning to do Winter X again.
Yep.
So I at minimum needed to buy the base plus pass, which is stupid that there's a base plus pass and a base pass. But you know what? That's fine.
Yeah, and the blackout days are usually days to not go skiing anyway.
Yeah.
But
I can agree with that.
you also don't want to be sitting at home on the blackout days if.
Yeah,
4
if you
feet of
can.
snow.
Yeah, I mean, if there's 4 feet of snow, the I-70's closed. So if you somehow figured out how to get up there, or the tips and tricks of places to ski where you won't hit lift lines are dwindling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there just isn't the A lift at Copper Mountain. Is that it?
That might be it.
Chair 10 at Vail.
Challenger's usually pretty good at Mary Jane.
Challenger at Mary Jane is usually not too bad.
Well,
the
and
other
then
one there, Eagle
Winter
Wind?
Park. Yeah, that's the one. Eagle Wind.
Indian
Well,
Beach.
Eagle Wind was ruined last year.
Yeah,
The
they
lift
really were.
One of the dying
broken,
chairs.
and then every other chair, and then it had lift lines, which I'd never seen on. And that's what I mean. Those places that you can avoid the lift lines are dwindling and getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, you got your.
Oh, I got my pass. Yep.
Okay.
And the photos that we all saw is why I didn't go skiing yesterday.
Yeah.
I was just like, I looked at the webcam of Eldora at probably 10:30, and you can only really see the back of the corral there at the bottom of Alpenglow, and it was out the back of the corral, and I was like, nah,
Yeah,
not for me.
It's not worth it for 2 runs and crowded slopes and lift lines. I just didn't.
and that's bad enough when the whole mountain's open and you could go to Indian Peaks or you could go somewhere else on the mountain.
Yeah.
But this time of year, that's the only lift that's open. And we talked about this last year, and we'll talk about it again. Why don't some ski areas show the lift lines? Like Eldora, they do a good job on threads. They're not on Twitter anymore. They do a good job on threads of saying it's crowded, it's not crowded, but they also won't just turn that camera 5 degrees to the right.
Yeah.
So you can see. And if they really cared, which again, it's a business, I
Right.
get it. If they really cared, they would turn that 5 degrees to the right, and that would help control parking. That would help all kinds of stuff. But then what they don't want is to discourage people to come up and spend money.
Yeah, I think though that the people that they're discouraging are people like me who probably aren't going to spend money.
Yeah.
Like I have a ski
Yeah.
pass, I'm going to go ski for a couple hours, get my 10,000 feet in and leave. But if there's a lift line, I'm like, which would then make it a better customer experience for the people that are there paying for a day ticket, who are going to go regardless of the lift lines. They have a planned trip to
Yeah.
go to the ski area and ski. So
And-
there's 2 sides of it, but
Big news, Powder put Eldora up for sale.
Yeah.
And so what does that mean for Eldora, which obviously isn't a mom and pop ski area, but it still has a little bit of that vibe. And they did an expansion this year, not a terrain expansion, but they built that new adaptive ski center.
Well, and it's a full lodge too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got the adaptive sports in it, the Ignite adaptive sports. But yeah, it's got like a cafe. That's where the ski school is now.
Nice.
It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I'm looking forward to going and checking it out with our friend Dale. Said he would take us for a tour of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. But what's going to happen with Eldora and another ski area that sold was Arapahoe Basin. And everybody, this was last year. So this was before we went off the air for the end of the season. And everybody essentially panicked
Yeah.
and said A Basin's ruined forever. And then Altera Bottom, which is them and Vail Resorts are the 2 big mega corporations that own skiing.
Yeah.
And then they basically instituted virtually no changes. Like they own the Icon Pass, but there's still only 5 days or 7 days with your Icon Pass. So they essentially instituted no changes. I'll be honest, they're gonna.
Right.
But
it's for the
that
first
sort of
year.
change
They had already signed
method.
agreements.
I was
And,
going to say, I wonder if it was built into this bill of sale.
Is not to wreck it on the first year.
yeah.
And there's only so much wrecking you can do at a place like Arapahoe Basin because it's primarily advanced skiing, and advanced skiing, love it or not, isn't popular.
Yeah.
That's not the popular kind of skiing. To go look at Crested Butte is a perfect example of that. It's not geographically easy to get to, but the people that go ski Crested Butte aren't also dropping big dough at the lodge and stuff like that. They're going to the North Face and skiing. So we'll see what happens with Eldora. We saw what happened with Arapahoe Basin. And I, for one, this is going to be horrible. I'm going to draw a line in the sand here.
Uh-oh.
I hope Vail buys it.
Oh, that would ruin me.
Yeah, I'd have to get an Epic Pass.
Well, that's the thing is like I'm getting both passes these days. It's really expensive. And what I really want to do is, and that would put Copper on the outside, which is one of my favorite places to ski. But where I really want to ski is Eldora and Vail. And the Aspen Mountains. So I'll always have to have two, but I don't know. I wish somebody we knew would buy it.
Wish we could buy it.
Yeah.
How to ski at resort.
And I think they indicated what they thought it was worth, and I can't remember right now.
Let me look, because I saw that too.
Yeah, and it seemed
Reasonable.
Yeah, I don't know if reasonable is the word, but it didn't seem out of whack.
Reasonable for an investor, not
Yeah.
reasonable for one of us who isn't a billionaire, but
Yeah, it wasn't like
think it was like
300
15
million.
million.
It was. I thought it was like I don't know. Marcus is
25.
going to look it up.
yeah.
Yeah. As
Has it
soon as
not
I find it,
sold?
I'll let you know.
Interesting. So what else, Ryan? You got your ski passes. Haven't been skiing. Any new skis or any new? Of course, Ryan doesn't have new equipment.
No. Well, I get new equipment. Mine works just fine.
Yeah, no, I love that.
You know what? I am in the market this year. I'm probably going to get a new helmet. My helmet's like 4 or 5 years old. It's time to just get back up to speed on the technology and keep
My
my
helmet's
brain.
like 20 years old.
Well, you got to keep your brain safe. I got a soft noodle. And then goggles. I think I'm in the market for a new pair of goggles. Mine are pretty scratched up and trashed.
Yeah.
As far as skis go, I have plenty of skis. And
And you got some additional pairs of used skis this year from your brother.
yeah, my brother swindled his way into a couple pairs of skis that probably ended up just taking the bindings off and putting them on a new pair someday.
Nice. And Dylan, any new equipment for you this year, bud?
I have not gotten any new equipment for me yet. I do plan on getting a helmet. Like I said, my helmet and goggles are literally 20 years old, and so they're nothing more than a plastic bowl.
Yeah, I was going to say that after 20 years, the styrofoam and stuff, that means you're wearing a hat.
Yeah, maybe
there's-
worse than.
MIPS didn't exist back then.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
So
And not just in all seriousness, not just the age of the technology is inferior, but the materials that helmets, and I'm basing this off what helmet companies say, but I believe it. The materials that helmets are made in only provides that maximum amount of protection for so long. And as we've discussed before on the podcast, so many incidents, like you can only hit your head. They want you to get a new one if you
One
take
time.
a good crack. But
Yeah.
I've had a few branches. Like I'm pushing the limits.
I
on
will
helmet,
say that when
for
your
sure.
helmet was made, concussions didn't exist. So you're probably
They're a new
okay.
invention.
Yeah, they're a new invention as well as the helmet. So you're fine.
So if you are riding around on an old used helmet, it probably is time
It's time.
to upgrade and
Yeah.
there is more modern technology, and there's no excuse not to wear a helmet because even on soft snow, as you probably know, you can get injured significantly. And like, why would you risk an injury that would interfere with your ski season
Or your life.
Yeah.
or your life?
Or your ski season.
Yeah, trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm going to ski the same skis and bindings and poles and all that.
Snowboard.
And probably snowboard. I do need to wax and tune that board because it's also like 20 years old.
You could just get a new one.
I know I really want to. But the most exciting gear that I got is a set of skis and bindings for my 2 kids. And that's always exciting.
Nice.
We got them fitted, and Callan is swimming in the smallest ski boots that anyone ever made. And I think his skis were like 72 long.
Your wife sent me a photo,
It's
and it was
incredible.
like it brought me so much joy because, like I said, growing up as a kid, every winter that was the highlight. Is going to the Buckman's and getting fitted, and then you take them home, you try your boots on, you click in, you click out your skis, and like it was just a childhood
That's
memory.
exactly what we did.
Yeah, and then seeing the kiddos, and the skis are like Kate's hand is bigger than the ski.
Yeah, I think my ski boot is as long as Callan's ski. It's awesome. We got them at Larson's, and it's a good deal. It's like $95 a season, and it's unlimited updates if they grow out of anything for all
Nice.
season.
That's
And then
awesome.
finally, you don't get charged until the end of the season. The deadline's like July 15th or something like that. And if you keep them and store them over the summer, they give you like 15% off, 10% off, something like that. So,
Nice.
man, there's no, like when you partner that with places like the Galloping Goose Lift at Winter Park, Mary Jane is free. There's no excuse not to get your kids skiing. Like,
Yeah.
it's $95
Yeah, that does
a
bring
year.
it. That does bring the price down if you're hitting one of those lifts and it's free,
Yeah.
and then affordable equipment, which isn't going to last very long as you grow up. Skiing gets super expensive, and I can't remember. We were talking to one of our clients, and he said how much he used to ski until his parents made him cover half. And then he said that was it for skiing.
Yeah.
We rented until my foot stopped growing. So it was always rentals, and then finally got my own pair of skis with my own money, but still was in rental boots because my parents were like, we're not buying you boots that you're going to grow out of next year. It's just $500 just out down the drain. And then finally I was able to get my own boots, and it changed my life.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Marcus?
I got new skis. I think we talked about it on the burner episode. I got new Apostle 106s, brand new, half price.
Nice.
But it was awesome. It was awesome to go there and buy it from them. Yeah, I already had a pair, and so I had a couple hand-me-downs from you over the years that I used that were awesome. And then whenever I bought that pair last year off a Facebook Marketplace, I just fell in love, and so I wanted another pair. And so now I have a pair of Apostles that are rock skis and a pair of brand new Apostles that are my everything else skis.
Nice. That's a good setup right there to have two pairs of RMUs.
You know what's nice about not having new skis is that all my skis are rock skis.
All my skis are rock skis this year. Actually, I have one pair of skis that's in really good condition, and I'll probably give them a run again. Like, I want to buy a new pair of mind benders like I skied on last year, the 98s or 99s, and those did good on almost every day. But I'm going to go back and give the Rosignol 106 Sender TIs, which I've complained relentlessly about them being too heavy and not quick. But I'll just change my style up to be a mad bomber this year.
The Dobermans?
No, I have a pair. No, I didn't ski on them very much. It's a pair. It's like 2 years old pair of Rosignol 106 Sender TIs, and they just have like this gray slate top face. They're not very fancy looking, and they're slow. And I skied on them once in Steamboat for a week. Is about all they've done in deep powder, and they did okay. But then when I whipped them out skiing elsewhere, and then I tried out those mind benders and was like, I'll never ski on those other skis again. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get skis. I tried to buy a pair off Facebook Marketplace, and work just got busy. And I told the guy I would buy them, and then I went dark for like 24 hours, and then he blocked me.
Damn.
Yeah.
You're that guy.
It's like 24 hours. They're still on there, which is why I don't know why he blocked me. I was going to go down there. I even took money out of the bank. I had to go back and redeposit it.
Callan skis are 70 centimeters long.
70. I think the photo you might be looking at is me holding my coffee and the skis in one hand.
Oh, wait, those might be Riley's.
No,
That's
those were
amazing.
Oh, yeah, 92 and 70.
Yeah, they went home and put on the boots and clicked in and out on the carpet and walked around and did pizzas. And
It's time.
It's
for
time.
kids skiing. The backyard's ready to go.
I
It's
know.
time.
There is snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they couldn't be more excited.
Nice.
I'll be honest. I haven't kept up on like what some of the other expansions are in Colorado and what new lifts are and stuff like that. Yeah, I haven't really followed up that much on it. And if I could have a repeat of last year as far as places to go and places to ski, I'd be satisfied.
Yeah.
So
If you could only ski at one resort, you could still ski. It's as easy to get to as Eldora. So it's not like driving from your house. You can ski on it as much as you can. Which resort would you pick? And Aspen only count. You have to pick one mountain. You can't go Aspen and have three mountains.
Vail.
Zermatt.
Vermont.
Zermatt in
Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
That was just because if it's as
You haven't
close
even
as
skied there. You don't even know.
no, yeah, but if it's as close as Eldora, I'd ski there the rest of my life.
Yeah, but how do you know it's actually good?
You seen photos of that place? I've talked to
Photos?
people that have gone.
Okay.
They go there instead of
I've seen
Vail.
photos that make the East Coast look cool.
Blue Mountain.
I'm predictable. I'm going to say Mary Jane.
All right. I think I'd go a basin.
Oh, all good choices except
Yeah.
Ryan's.
In the States,
right.
I'd go Jackson Hole in the States.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good. And I'm sure every time I've been to Jackson Hole, it's been really crowded. I mean, it's not that it's really crowded. It's that the gondola or the tram is 45-minute line. But I'll bet there's weekdays in December and January that it's not so bad.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. It's a. I think the hardest part with the tram is that it's a tram. There's two gondolas. There's two.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to wait for it to come back down and then go back up, and that's what the waiting is.
It
I
takes
think.
forever,
Plus, you have the lines, obviously, but it fits 100 people.
Yeah.
120
It's
people.
worth it. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
not worth it.
And then once
It's-
you're up there, you can stay up there.
Yeah,
Like,
and the
it's-
gondola is the most underrated thing there. Is they have a gondola that goes up to the other side of the mountain,
Yeah.
which has all kinds of great skiing, and everybody flocks to the tram.
Yeah.
So if you go anywhere else, it's usually, and I've always picked good times of year, December and January. I've never been up there spring break or
Yeah.
Presidents or anything like that. Which
I was there on St. Patty's Day, and it wasn't that bad. Like, it wasn't as crowded as like you would think for springtime.
and what pass is that on this year?
The Icon.
The Icon, nice. Is
I've
it
never been.
unlimited or
No,
is it like 7
it's
days?
like it's like Aspen.
Yeah.
I think there's X amount of days.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. And the base pass doesn't include it, but the base plus pass includes it for 5 days. And then the regular pass includes it for 7 days.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between the passes at Icon financially?
1,019 for the base, 1,269 for the base plus, and 14 something for the main one. Sorry, let me pull it.
It's interesting that I didn't jump on my Icon pass like I did last year. I bought it last year before the season ended 2 years ago. And this year I bought it like in August or September and paid $1,300. But it's interesting how that pass is so much more expensive than the Icon pass.
The Epic.
The Epic Pass.
Yeah.
It's so much more expensive. Like my Epic Pass, which I bought in September, was $9.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing I did last year. Is you give them your debit card, and for 3 months they take $333 out of your debit card, and then you get your pass. So I haven't gotten my Epic Pass yet because
Yeah.
I have one more payment that should be coming up here in the next few days, and then I think they'll send me my pass, which works for me. And Vail opens on the 18th, which it's not going to be ready, but I know I've been a broken record about enjoying Vail, but last year Vail in December the crowds weren't there, but the snow was. So I'm hoping for that again.
Yeah.
We're having a Cocker Spaniel dispute here in the
Get some.
in the studio. They hear us talking about skiing. For whatever reason, when you bring the Cocker Spaniels into the studio, they play and fight.
Yes.
And if we're in the conference room, they just sleep. But they're
Sparring.
sparring.
Get some.
There's going to be a dog fight here in a second. Anyway, what else do we have to talk? I'm looking forward to getting this season underway. And not a lot to talk about yet because we
Yeah.
haven't been skiing. There's no major controversies. The crowds look awful.
Awful.
But
To be expected. I mean, opening day has never for me been something I like. We got to go to opening day. It's opening day. It's great to see them open. I love that everything's opening earlier than projected, and it's snowing in the Front Range. It's snowing in the mountains. It's all looking good, but I think it always takes a little bit more time than.
And I saw an interesting post from Arapahoe Basin today, something about that they were off to a good start and that it was going to be sunny this week. And they said something to the effect is that'll get the water moving and that'll increase their ability to make snowmaking. So I think they have limited access to water is my understanding. And because it's going to warm up, the snow obviously isn't going to melt in the shady areas, but there's other places on the mountain where it'll turn back into water and come into their retention pond where then they can place it where they want it.
Yeah.
And snowmaking is such an important part of skiing, unfortunately, because it's never anywhere near as good as natural snow, but everyone's making snow. It's supposed to be in the 40s and 50s this week, which is going to do some damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
At Eldora or
Yeah, I saw 40s in the forecast for Eldora.
Yeah.
60s down here, which means get the bikes back out. Hopefully.
Yeah, right.
So up at my house, I think we're done mountain biking for the year. That we would need some substantially warm weather to melt the snow that's on the north side, which there's not a lot of trails that are like only south face.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can ride south, but then they come back on the north and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. When are you expecting your first day to be? I'm kind of planning to go Thanksgiving week again.
Yeah, Thanksgiving week if I can. You know what I know is I won't have fun until it's like top to bottom. I don't need black diamonds. I don't need the stuff that but I want, like, the main goal this time of year is fitness, but not at the expense of like a beehive of skiing.
Yeah.
And so when I saw the photos from Eldora, I was like, well, I wouldn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
And yes, you could get some fitness in, but I wouldn't enjoy that. And I don't think I got really fit last year. I got fit, but I didn't get like fit, like trying to break Strava records, top to bottom Strava records and stuff like that. And so one of my goals this year is to get back to that fitness, and I want to go after the Snowmass. I know I can't take the top spot.
Yeah.
You know, they're world-class name skiers on the top spot. But last I looked, I was 13th. And I think, and this isn't speed skiing, just to be clear, there are some Strava speed records that some people in this room may have their name on. This is endurance because it's 3,800 vertical feet of like moguls and double diamonds with a few traverses and some tree runs and stuff. And then my other big Strava success is, why can't I think of it, at Copper Mountain over on the A-chair, Far East.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm still third or fourth on Far East, and that's just moguls. And I don't want to take away from the person that's in first, but I don't see how they're like 2 minutes faster. And it says they did it in January, so I don't think we initially speculated that they hit it on a day that it was like it just opened.
Yeah.
And there weren't those moguls.
It wasn't bumped out, and you could kind of just straight line it.
But the time of year is
because I was there on a powder day once, and you could barely feel the moguls, but my fitness was nowhere. This was like Christmas.
Yeah.
And my fitness was nowhere. And I got 3/4 of the way down and blew up.
Yeah.
I came off, the gears were smoking. And I was like, this is impossible. And until later in the season. But then the moguls are Volkswagen size, and your fitness needs to be, it's insane.
I think I can move into second on Far East if I can get fit. I know that it's only like 3.5, 4 minutes, but it's 1,000 vertical feet of not difficult moguls, but real moguls. And so it's 3 or 4 minutes of just pounding it out. So that's my goal this year, is to get back to the fitness and go back after some of the Strava records. I won't, and again, I'm not talking about the bombing ones.
Yeah.
As much as those entertain me when I see that Strava's like, you're 64th. And I'm like, man, I felt like I was going pretty fast. And then you look at the fastest, and it's people that were definitely speed skiing, like Ryan here.
Not me. I make turns.
Not when we first started skiing together.
Yeah, he makes more turns now. He can make turns. Let's put it that way. So, all right. Well,
awesome.
Good luck. Be safe. There is dry land things you can do to get fit.
I'm looking forward to more gravel biking this week, especially if we could, like, a lot melted over the last couple days.
Yeah, you guys down here
much all
are
gone.
set.
The bike paths are fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Izzy rode out to NCAR and back yesterday.
Yeah, I saw a couple Strava segments yesterday of people that rode gravel and stuff like that. So, but it is a good time if you're not skiing to start getting fit, whether that be riding your bike or, if you want the ultimate, it's run stadium stairs. Like, that's probably one of the best. It builds your cardio, it builds the quads, it builds the muscles, but trying to get fit so that first day, injury isn't as big of an issue. The more fit you are, the less chance you have of getting injured to some extent. And then B, every year it comes. And if you pussyfoot around skiing, then all of a sudden it's January or it's even December and 20 inches fall. And like Ryan was talking about, I was with them on that Christmas, and it was like 20 inches of fresh snow, and they just dropped the ropes on everything. But we were way out of our league as far as. I remember skiing the glades at Copper Mountain, and they had dropped the rope on the glades, and we were useless. We had no business being back there.
No. And especially, I'm not going to go run stadium stairs, but thinking back to times like that, I'm like, man, I wish I had the motivation to go run stadium stairs.
If somebody just told me like, hey, we're going to pop the door on Folsom Field this afternoon for you, run might be a stretch, but I would definitely go knock out some stadium stairs. I'm sure there's some around town. I know like last year when I traveled, at the end of the year, I tried not to use the elevator at the hotels.
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
that's a good move.
And that'll help. So get fit and get ready. And Marcus, you need to get your pass.
Yeah, I do.
How about this, Marcus? We'll do the stairs at the Spring Hill Mansion this week in Arizona.
Perfect.
They still have
guaranteed we're going to be on floor 1.
I know.
They still have the pass financing at Epic or Icon.
I paid an extra
through the
$25
Affirm thing, because I actually have it pulled up right now, and Affirm is like $115 a month. I don't know how many months it is though. It's like goes.
That's the 12-month one.
Yeah, you get to choose. Like I saw it, and I looked at it, and it was, you could have done like 3, 6, or 12 months, and it was all reasonable. I mean, again, it comes down to like, how bad do you want it? Skiing's not cheap.
Yeah,
it's never gonna be cheap again, but how bad do you want it? So get fit, get healthy, get ready. Hopefully we'll have some more interesting stuff to talk about once we actually get out on the slopes,
rather than just ramble for a bit.
And just ramble for a bit.
Knock the cobwebs off.
Yeah.
Make sure the microphones still work.
Oh, and follow our other podcast, 500 Cats, which is about work.
Yeah, unlike the last time we talked about it. It's actually there now.
It was there all along.
You guys, 500 Cats is the friends we made along the way.
Yes, it is.
Because if you have one podcast, you got to make another.
Yeah, and our new podcast. No, I'm just kidding. All right, that's it for How to Ski It, episode 18, 19, or 20. I'm pretty sure it's 19.
I'm going to say 20, actually, because I was looking at our note here, and when we recorded a podcast in August, we called it 19.
Okay, so episode 20. Right? So next is 21. And 21 will either include new equipment or actual skiing.
TBD.